Hi Marina, it's Adrian from Cox and the Hen Designs, and I'm here on your Pinterest account, One Journey, to do a Pinterest audit for you. You have a new Pinterest account, and you told me that you're a blogger and Instagrammer, and you're looking to have Pinterest help you drive traffic and increase brand awareness to your website and your Instagram so you can grow your following and engagement. So I'm going to go through your Pinterest account here and take a quick look at some Pinterest relevant things on your website, and we'll see what kind of strategies we can get for you to help increase those things. So when I come to your Pinterest account, I can see that you have a business account because you have this header up here that only business accounts have. And right now you have it set to your latest pins, which is fine. One thing that I usually suggest to people with business accounts is to create a board that is with the name of your blog or your website or your company, so One Journey. And whenever you post something new on Pinterest, everything automatically gets pinned to that board first, and then any other relevant boards of yours. So then we usually tell people to make that business board their header, just because it kind of helps to highlight your pins and your items. So that's one strategy that you could use to help increase. It depends how many people actually come to your profile, because not a lot do click through, but for the ones that do, you want to be showcasing your pins and your content for sure. Now I see you've got your website on here, but you do not have a bio. So just a quick, short 2 to 3 sentences, just summing up what your website, your blog, your Instagram is about. You could also make sure that you're using your long tail keywords, because those are the main way to be found on Pinterest always. So by popping some of those into your profile as well, that'll help you be found in search. Now I see along the top here that you don't have any featured boards set, which is another option that business accounts have. And basically you can just pick up to 5 boards of yours that you would like to feature, so that if people do come to your profile, those are the boards that they're going to see very first highlighted right here. So if you go into your settings to the profile section, it's right at the bottom of that section where you can pick which boards that you want to feature, and it just scrolls through them like a carousel right here. Now when I go to your boards, now you said that you're a new account, so you've only got 7 boards so far, so that's a good start. I would suggest trying to get at least a couple more. Usually try to start with 10. You want to make sure that they're relevant to the items that you're pinning and your niche and what your target market is interested in. So like I see you have this prints board, and I'm not sure if that's fabric prints or if those are prints that you're gonna like hang on the wall, what type of thing. So you might want to use a more descriptive keyword here. We usually try to say using long tail keywords. And then for all of your boards, you should also have a description. And the reason for this is because not only when people type in search here, they can filter this not only by pins, but their own pins, product pins, people, and boards. So if you're trying to target certain keywords, by having those in that profile description that I mentioned earlier and your board descriptions, that means if someone happens to filter those search by this way, you're going to still be found in those searches because it's still relevant to you. So you're going to want to make sure that all of your main boards have descriptions. You might want to use words that are the types of things that people actually search in the search bar. So I'm not sure, like veggie, you're going to need to put probably some more specific words in there, vegetarian dishes, maybe that type of thing. I don't think you need the periods at the end of these board names. I'm not sure if you're just trying to make it unique. I know lots of people like to add those types in things in. I'm not sure if that helps in search. I don't know if it hinders, but you don't have it carried throughout, so you could just leave those off, would be my suggestion. Now when I go to your pins, this is your most recent pins that you've done, and I see that you're pinning a lot of other people's content right now, as well as some of your own. So this pin right here that I want to look at is from your Instagram. So your pin description, I know, is the description that you had in your Instagram, like at the bottom, but if you want this picture to be found on Pinterest, depending what it is that you're trying to target, whether it's fashion or travel, I'm not sure, you want to make sure that you're using those long tail keywords in your description. Otherwise, Pinterest isn't going to know what this pin is about. So it's not going to show up in as many people's searches and feeds because it's not relevant and its keywords don't match the image. So you might want to, I know you're sharing from Instagram, but when you do that, you might want to change the description a little bit. Another thing that we usually suggest with pins is because Pinterest is a visual search engine. So they use a technology called Lens, which actually reads words on images. So another good place to put your keywords that you're trying to target is right on the image itself. So I'm not sure if you use Canva or not, but it's an awesome free tool. And if you go on there, they actually have pre-made templates for pretty much any social media website, but you can get Pinterest templates and you can just go and you pick whichever one appeals to your style and your branding. You pick your own colors, and then you can put your own pictures from your posts into the templates, and usually somewhere to put your business name or your blog name and the keywords about what this article is or what this post is, that type of thing. So, and usually what I like to do is make a couple different ones of those for the same post, because not only does that give you more pins to fan out to different relevant boards, but it also helps to do testing to see maybe some people prefer to click on certain colors than others. And it kind of gives you an idea when you're going with your branding to see what appeals to your market more. You know, some might like dark colors more, some might like lighter, and you can do testing to find out where it is that your market is and what you should be saving your pins as. So another thing, so I see here that it says you only have 298 monthly viewers, which is totally fine. The reason I wanted to talk to you about this is followers. Back when Pinterest was first started, followers were really important, and that went down a little bit, but Pinterest is starting to put more focus on followers, which is why we now have following feeds up here. And if you go there, anybody that you follow, that will be only pins from them. Even if they've pinned 20 cat pictures in a row, if you click on that, you're going to see all those, unlike the smart feed that is originally loaded when you log in. So when you start gaining followers, you don't want to just be dropping your link in groups and getting followers that aren't actually your target market and aren't engaging with your content. Because what Pinterest does is when you add a pin to Pinterest, first it shows it to your followers, and depending on their engagement and how, whether it's viewed a lot, is how Pinterest determines whether how well they're going to fan that out to other people's news feeds and searches, and how high up is it going to rank. So if you have 1 million followers, but none of them are engaged with you because they don't really care about your specific content, then it's not going to do you any good. So these monthly viewers, this is just monthly viewers to your Pinterest. This is not monthly viewers that are going to your blog, that type of thing. So don't focus too much on those two numbers, and because they do matter, but in the long run of gauging traffic on your website, those are just fluff numbers. So don't worry too much about them. You want to have genuine engaged followers. And they'll come. Once you start using the keywords so that they can find you, your genuine followers will come. And once you start getting more of your own content out online, it's just going to help a lot more. So the more pins that you have. And when you do start adding more of your own pins, you can pin them to more than just one board. So if you are doing a travel board that you also talk about food, those could be put onto 2 different boards, as well as the board that you create for your business. You just always want to make sure that you're pinning to relevant boards, not boards that don't have anything to do with the topic, and you don't ever want to seem spammy. So now I just want to take a quick look at your website at some pictures. So I know that you do a lot of like travel posts, and there's some fashion posts. I know this is another one about some food. So, and you have amazing pictures, which is great. And Pinterest loves amazing pictures. But if you just pin one of these images to Pinterest, people aren't going to know what this article is about, which I know it's top places to get in free and take beautiful pictures with amazing views, because I translated it and I read the article, and these images are all amazing. But someone might not necessarily know what the link or what the post is that they're linking to. They're not going to know what it is that you're recommending. So where I mentioned the pin templates before, this would be another place that they would come into play, because if you put on here some sort of title, top 3 places, something like that, people on Pinterest love lists. So top 3, 5 ways to do this, all of those, people love them. So if you have some sort of title like that, make sure that you're using it in your descriptions as well. So then another thing that I wanted to show you with your images is when we click to pin it, it doesn't come up with a description. And I know even with the Chrome Pinterest button, which I'm not sure why mine's not showing up at the moment, but even with that button, all it was bringing up was One Journey, so the name of your blog. So when you are naming your pictures on your computer, like right after they come off your phone or your camera or wherever, you want to make sure that you're giving them meaningful names, maybe with a keyword or 2, instead of just leaving it as image 5304, that type of thing. By putting in, Eiffel Tower view or anything like that, then when someone goes to pin one of your items, if it can't find any metadata or alt attributes on the image, then it will pull that. And then the other things that I just mentioned, if you go into the properties or settings of your picture, or depending how Blogspot's set up for your website, I'm not sure if you can add SEO type properties to the back of your images, but basically if you put your pin description in the metadata and the alt text, I believe, then Pinterest will automatically pull that description for you. And why that's important is because if someone else comes to your website and they create a pin and it just says One Journey in the description, most people don't look at the description or change it when they're pinning. They just, click, done. Now it's on my board. But the problem with that is now your pin's going out with a description that's not really going to help it be found in searches. So it's just by adding your own pin description to the back of the image, basically, in the properties and settings, that just helps give you a little bit better control over your descriptions and what gets attached to your images and that type of thing. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Also, I see you have a YouTube channel. Pinterest now allows you to pin videos from YouTube. So whether you want to create a image, like a title page for the beginning of your video, or just pin the video itself, that is another option. When it comes to just a random thought I had about your followers, because I know on your Instagram you do have quite a bit of a following already, and I would assume that they're engaged and they genuinely like what you're posting on Instagram, is you can ask your audience. Same with on Facebook, hey, I'm on Pinterest, come follow me. Here's my link. Some people, they forget about that type of thing and they just need to be told. So because you're just starting out, I would head to the audience that you've already built on your Facebook page and your Instagram page. And I would just say, hey, I started a Pinterest account. Come follow me to find great fashion and travel, whatever, talk about whatever types of thing you're pinning, that type of thing. And you'll find that'll help a lot. You also want to be pinning consistently. There is no magic number of, 10, 15, 25 a day, but you want to be pinning consistently your own content and others. Some people say you should be doing 80% others and 20 of your own. Some say 50-50. I don't say any number. If you're pinning your own things and you pin stuff that is content you actually enjoy and stuff that you want your followers to see, then go ahead and pin it. And if you pin more of other people's one day and the opposite the next, that's not a big deal. You just want to be pinning consistently every day. So I know that can seem kind of daunting, but you can use schedulers like Tailwind, which is awesome. And it'll create a smart schedule and it'll just fan them out for you, which I probably spend about an hour a week on Tailwind, and I get probably 2 weeks of pinning done at a time, and it's all done ahead of time, so I don't have to think about it every day. So that would be another great thing for you to get your consistency in pinning up. So I think that I've talked about everything that I wanted to. If you have any questions, of course, you can send me an email or a Facebook message, anything like that, and can also be found on my website, designs.coxandthehen.com. Thanks, Marina.